once again, it's not Magic Monday with David Miller. It's Magic Wednesday with David Miller here on the Hump Day, February 7th. I flew in Sunday morning. I watched this at a book. I watched the game in a book. Where'd you watch the game? The handle was up. We were just talking.
Eagles party, and I had to suffer. Good friends though, so I was happy for them. But
right.
Yeah, everybody solid had the Patriots money line. I mean, not everybody, but
right.
Most of the people.
I mean, I had this Patriots money line. So
because they dropped the price locally. Usually you have dogs in big games, but what happened was they took so much money on the Eagles locally that they had to drop the price, which creates good market value. And so I pressed it up, and unfortunately it didn't go my way. And then a lot of the props went over. So you're betting no and contrarian, and since everybody's betting everything over, and then there was a million yards. It was a rough game, but
public cashes in once in a while.
Yeah, it's all right.
But now,
good. But it's good for them, but you really don't want it to happen in that big of a game because you don't want the sports books to cut back, because they're so mad that they lost or whatever. Or they were assuming, well, we're going to make this amount of money, and then things didn't turn out how they wanted. So they take it out on the guys betting daily that are making a living.
So let's talk about the making a living. You said you're going to go to it's right now. It's 12 noon exactly here in Las Vegas. You said you're going to go to the gym. So give me an example. I noticed, and we talked about this before we went on the air. A lot of people follow you on Instagram and Twitter at Vegas Ringers, and they see that you send me the real tickets, you send me the proof.
Fully transparent. Before, same day.
So, but here's the question: in the industry that I'm in, which is selling information to the general public, most handicapping service, not syndicates that are getting real plays from people at the Vegas Strip or outside of the Vegas Strip in Summerlin. These people, their whole pitch to the client is late information. We have to wait till 30 minutes before game time. We have to wait till 20 minutes before game time. How could you possibly bet an NBA game the night before if there's an injury report? And so I notice you've been giving me a lot of games the night before and beating the number. So what's your response?
Doing really good on that.
What's your response?
Well, I'll take a lead on a lot of injury situations.
Okay.
So if somebody's questionable, which by definition means 50%, I'll kind of look into it, and then my instincts kick in, whether I think they're going to play and whether I think they're going to be efficient or not, and or if they're probable. I'll look at what a good thing to do, guys, is look at what type of injury it is. So if somebody's probable with, let's say, an ankle injury, you kind of want to proceed as if they're not going to be their normal self. But if they're probable with, I don't know, make something up, like a concussion, I don't know, just, or personal, or, they were sick a couple of days before, that kind of stuff, a lot of times they're 100%, but certain injuries, when you dig into it, they're not going to be 100%. So I just kind of do stuff like that, and I've been beating the number.
So let me ask you, in addition to beating the number, for the clients that want to have access to your halftime alerts when you text them over to us. So yesterday, I'm a square, and of course, but I'm saying I'm a square, and before I got your ticket, I'm a square. That's why I get games from you. So my assumption was, okay, they're going to make the Warriors 11.5, 12, down 10 or 11 at half.
And they were down 13. And
down 13.
Then it came out 11, got 12. Then it got bet up.
Right, to 12. And then you came in with a huge play on Oklahoma Thunder plus the 12.
And I had them, and I had them right at pose.
Now,
because we had a higher number here in Vegas.
So here's what I was going to ask you. I, just for the fun of it, walked up to the window when I got your text, and I bet $100 at $4.25 on the money line.
Really?
Yeah. Do you ever do that?
So you had minus.
No.
You basically had minus 13.
No.
You had the money line.
I took Oklahoma because of you.
Yeah.
For $100.
Right, but you had. But
the money line was plus $4.25.
But since they were up by 13, you were laying 13 at plus 120.
Well, I was laying.
Yeah, you were laying 13 at plus 425. That's what the bet was, and you won.
No. I just bet the money line on Oklahoma to win the
pregame.
second. No, they put up a second half money line at some of these sports.
Right. So since they're up by 13, you
It's
took
just
the money
as
line,
you're
you were
at
minus 13, basically.
Oh yeah, of course, right. But I won. I won.
Yeah.
I
do, but on a lower money line because they really juice you on a lot of those.
Well, here's what the money line was: minus 850 plus
Yeah.
475.
Yeah, right. So if it's a lower one, then I will. It depends where the market angle is. Is there better value on that or the spread?
So, but here's my question that they want to know. They want to know. They would have all thought, well, Golden State's at home. They've been coming back in the second half and kicking teams' asses. So is that an algorithm? Is that your gut? I mean, it's okay if it's your gut. Is it like what? Or you're just going contrarian?
Just mass contrarian thinking. Yeah, it's just because if a team does come back like that over and over, they're going to keep skewing the line, and not only that, but when you shop around in those situations, and some sports books are in panic mode, they're going to throw you an extra half point.
Well, like it went from 11 right to 12.
Right, it's panic mode. You know, everybody's the herd mentality. So, yeah, that's an instinct play basically.
Right.
From doing it a long time. It could have gone either way, but it was good value.
Now, what about teams like, I don't know if you remember 2 nights ago, it was just interesting to me, the Sacramento Kings were playing the Bulls. You had the Kings, but they scored 9 points in the first quarter and then just exploded in the second half after halftime, which is why they covered. So my question to you is, do you go back to your original play at the second half when you're already on the game itself? Or do you just use, I don't know if you were on the Oklahoma Thunder at all before the game started.
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
Because we had extra value here.
Okay.
Otherwise I wouldn't have. But just because right at post, they were taking big bets on the Warriors. I don't know if it was from the Super Bowl winners or who it was, but we were able to get extra value here, so I had it.
So can you define to these guys watching the video what extra value means?
Well, 9.5.
I'm not trying to grill you.
No, I know. 9.5 and 10 everywhere, offshore and at credit accounts. And Chris, we had 11 here at a lot of spots. So we had extra market value, and we were going against the move. I think it opened 9.5 too. So it's a good situation. Market value and going against the move, which usually is contrarian. So it's a good spot. And
so
the
when
second half was the same thing. Was the exact same thing. Going against the second half move, contrarian, good value. So it's just altogether, it was just a really good game with a good result. And the result could have gone different, but I know that going in that I'm getting the best of it, and then I just don't worry.
So it's hard for these guys to understand. There's really no favorite teams, good teams.
Well, there is, but you have to kind of put that aside.
Well, no, I'm saying from the getting the best of it, it's just all about if the line here is -3 and you go to another book and it's -4, you're going to take the +4 a lot of times.
Well, you would take that side or pass if you were at that book, but market value, you want to get your money in good on the market too. It's a marketplace. You don't want to just take whatever number when you can log into another account and have a half point more or even money, and lay 110 there. You might as well check all your options before you bet. It's kind of the point of it.
And regarding the NBA games the night before and the college the night before, so then you're taking still a risk of not getting market value of the line going.
I have no market value. It's the same.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. I'm taking this because there is no shopping around the night before. It's the same price everywhere. So yeah, I'm technically gambling, I guess, because I could wake up and it's a point better.
Well, you just add more money.
Yeah. But
so that's the difference in bankroll.
But
that's the difference in bankroll money management. Like,
assuming there's no
well,
scratch.
here's a perfect example, and I can remember this because where did I fly in from?
Baltimore.
So here's what I'm going to remember. You had a press-up play.
Sun.
You had a press-up play last week on Maryland, and so you texted us and you said
I've had them a few times.
No, but the line was plus 14.5. Then it went to 15. Then it went to 16.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that scenario. Is that where? Okay, you didn't get the best of it. You didn't. You got the worst of it.
Nope. Yeah,
But
you're right.
but then you're doing the Walmart. Oh, it's on sale. If I liked it at plus 14 and a half. So
it's a sliding scale.
So a friend of mine, Kenny White always says, if you know your number and you never get scared if the line moves. Well, I notice the squares get scared. They almost want the worst number. The squares almost want the worst number. Like they want to see that instead of laying 7, now they're laying 8. I don't know why.
It's weird. No, first you make sure there's nothing random that happened, no new information. But yeah, I'll keep adding to the position.
So when you see Maryland
first
go from 14 and a half to 16, you don't ever say somebody knows something on the favorite. No.
I keep adding to it.
You hear that? So basically, you don't, for the back of
today I have one too. I'm gonna just add to it. It's that simple.
Well, you'll let me know off there. And if you want the games, you can head on over to Vegas Ringers and you can DM them on.
Anything to treat?
No, thank you.
But like yesterday, I did 4 bets the night before. All 4.
Don't say the names of the teams.
All 4. Okay. All 4 closed good. 2 of them really good. And then I bet one. It was around this time, and then that one closed good. So everything closed good today. Like.
What makes you switch and bet both sides of the same game?
Well, it just moves too much, and I think there should be this, and then it would either have to move too much / like some market value. So some market value the day of the game is important. The night before, no, because there is none.
So that's based upon. So when you're betting the games the night before and you're sending us the tickets,
there is no market value.
But that's pure. Your algorithm, your system, you're doing your thing, and then you let the market move. Now, I'm just throwing this out there? Wouldn't you? Let's say on the Maryland game last week, how many times do you remember this happening? You got 14 and a half, you add to it at 15 and a half or 16, and then they lose by 15.
It happens, yeah.
And you cover what you added, but you didn't cover the original.
It sucks, but it happens. But how many times do you take plus 14 and it closes at 11 and a half or 12?
More
times. 8 and you're going.
More times than.
Yeah, a lot. It's just like today. I'm in a weird spot on one of them. I'm gonna just go more, and that's. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's not gonna. But
so
that's
what
why
I'm
you add more. So if that first one is another way you can look at it, if that first one loses by a hook, hey,
right?
You break even on the game hopefully, or make a little bit. But this is all part of the. Well, let's put it this way: if the first number didn't close better more than it should, I wouldn't bet the night before. So close is good enough where I could justify doing it. That's how I look at it.
And do you find that you're getting the better of I find in college so far, you've been beating the number. But in NBA, I see it's kind of like doesn't really move.
Well, because the NBA doesn't move as much. Like here's the one positive about betting NBA the night before. More people are interested in NBA, so there is actually market value the night before. So a lot of times, the reason you see so much college is they move more. So I want to get those in the night before. So, but pro, because they don't move as much, I'm not too worried about it. But I do find some good half points. Here or Westgate, I find an extra half the night before. Or
now online on the online sites, we don't
you
have
guys can too online.
Yeah, but do you recommend clients buy to the number? No, don't lay more juice, right?
I mean, if it's a super low total in college, you want to. But it would have to be like 120, 130. Because each half points, it can be worth like 11 or 12 cents. They charge 10. Because less scoring, every half point. Because in theory, if a total was like 2.5, a half point would be worth like $1. So as that total goes up, every half point's worth less.
All right, next question.
That's so rare that
I understand.
Do it. Probably makes you look
but
bad.
I get a lot of clients, and they ask me, do you ever do first halves for value?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
All the time, money line. But the night before is only full game.
Full game. Got it. So we're going to basically run all the way through NBA playoffs, And then you said
I'm going to do women's basketball.
beautiful. Yeah, I know another
People
guy.
actually want to bet that. So
Oh yeah.
I can pick winners in that, but it's a really small market. Won't be driving to Westgate. I mean, it's a small.
Right, it's for you. You want to be able to bet. Right. You
maybe
still
2,000.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. And then baseball, you have a system. You just haven't been really actively giving it to the public, correct?
Right.
Right. So we'll discuss that closer to
Baseball's good too.
closer to MLB time.
Sports, all American sports.
Exactly. And we'll be back here March 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. We'll pick a day. We'll have another recap. And then, like I said, now, at what point are your futures better? I see every Philly fan posting their 40-1 thing online. I bet.
Really?
Every guy. But again, they lived in Philly and they flew to Vegas. And when do you future position
I'll have some at the beginning of the March Madness.
For the actual NFL season?
Oh, you mean for NFL?
Right. When do you even look into that?
August.
And what about futures for MLB?
Next month. I'm just no. I'm already looking into that. But what I was gonna do for you guys, I was gonna do March Madness, right at, when they announce the
right.
I was gonna give some.
Got it.
So.
But have you found that to be a big money maker for yourself, or it's pretty much the everyday grind of betting as a business?
It does good. I mean, I have some good ones, but yeah, all of it's the everyday grind.
So I met a client last night, and he said to me, he said, I used to bet one game a day, and I go, that's not, we're trying to beat the number. Some days you might have 4 games, some days you might have 10 games. There's no, you're not looking at, I want to bet a certain amount of games. We obviously know the holy grail in marketing is the gambler's looking for the hot lock that he can unload on.
I might have 1, might have 14, just depends.
Right, and that goes
if
back.
I think it's good, I'll bet.
And that goes back to the money management.
Yeah.
Right. And by the time you actually walk into the book, all your research is done. Now you're just number shopping. And just so you guys know,
I know what I'm going to bet.
Right, just so you guys know, we are literally at the book. We're at the Red Rock. And like I said, appreciate the update. It is Wednesday, February 7th.
I think they have a lot of liability. See how it's as big as Golden Knights to win?
Where's that at?
You see how they already have that prop out?
Okay, got it.
It's because I think they have a lot of liability, so they're trying to already get some of it off, maybe through the no, because that's a good price on the no. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they're trying to get some of it off, I think.
So they're giving you an inflated number.
Well, they're giving you value on the no.
Oh.
They know, like, the real sharp guys that are real into it are eyeing the no. Nobody solid's eyeing the yes.
So basically, the squares are going to come in and they're going to put down.
Yeah, they're just going to take the worst. Yeah, 2 good things happen here. People are going to bet that plus 450 when it should probably be like 9-1 or whatever. I'm not a hockey expert, but I'm just telling you what's going through everybody's mind. But if some people take some of the no off at -7, it takes some of the liability off for the house.
Right.
But they probably, to tell you the truth, as big as this place is, just want everybody to bet the yes. Just leave it open. But I don't know.
But I mean, at some point, you got to lay 70 G's to win 10 G's right now, right?
It's kind of like on the Super Bowl when they drop the no on the safety and the missed extra point and all that stuff. They really drop it right before the Super Bowl. So everybody, so they want to take some of the liability off. So they throw you a bone. That's why everybody's always talking about the no's on those props. But,
got it.
But and I know because I've been seeing that up there.
What's the highest and lowest you've seen?
No, it keeps dropping.
Oh, what was the highest you saw?
The no was like 1,100, and then
wow.
it was 800. It was 875. Then it was 800 last week, and it's 700. But I think they would take a really big bet on the no. I think they would take it, because like you just said, everybody's betting the yes. It's a perfect prop for them. I mean, they just can't lose on it.
It'll be interesting
But
in a
it's
month.
funny. It's
when I
been there
come back
forever.
what it
It's
is.
even over there. If you're still over there, they try to really.
Now, have you been getting into fading like the Knights blew a 2-0 lead?
Couple times.
Right.
But I mean, I'm sure I'll get more into that, just as a fundamentals play. I'm not a hockey expert, but the fundamentals there are to fade Vegas.
So we're almost at 20 minutes. We're gonna fade Vegas. Have a good day. Vegas ringers, don't fade Dave, fade Vegas.